He won a national championship at Kentucky. He played in the NBA. He built a winning program at Utah Valley, and now he's taking on the new challenge as the head coach of the BYU Cougars. Mark Pope, what a wild whirlwind it's been since you got hired. It really wasn't that long. It seems like it, though, because you've been so busy. You've had so much happen. Before we get to a lot of that stuff, what's this been like for you to take over this job and take on this challenge that you're taking on?
Well, you and I have been talking about this for a long time, right? We've kind of been this whole ride together, and so it's been awesome. Like, it is so exhilarating. We're so excited, and it's a monumental challenge, and it's got all the ingredients that could build into something extraordinarily special. So it's not hard. Like, it's not work. You know, you wake up really early every morning and you race to the office, not because you have to, but because it's so exciting, right? To see if we can take a big swing at this and make something happen.
Well, to win, you got to have players, and the best recruiting you've done so far is internal. You got Yoeli Childs to come back. You're some kind of wizard. We thought he was gone. How did you pull this off? How did you convince Yoeli to come back for his senior year?
I've joked about this. You know, the one thing I can do is I can talk a lot, right? And so we talked him into submission is kind of the tagline we use. But the truth is that the greatest thing about this game, I believe this with all my heart, is it exerts so much pressure on you, and there's so much public pressure and personal pressure and internal pressure. And what it does is it lets you find out who you are. You're kind of thrown in this crucible, and you have to figure out who you are, and that was what Yoeli did. Yoeli's the one that came back. Yoeli's the one that took a hard look at it and said, I love BYU. Like, this place is like nowhere else. And Yoeli Childs is the one that came back and said so eloquently, I'm going to have 15 years to go be a pro. I get 1 year to come take a shot at this and do something special at BYU with these teammates. And so as much as I'd like to take credit for it and sound like some type of genius recruiter, it's not true. Like, this is Yoeli Childs, and he's a really special young man, and he loves this university, and he's got his heart and mindset on accomplishing something extraordinary.
What does he need to do to become an NBA player?
Well, he's going to grow his game. So, you know, I tell you, sometimes it's hard for stars sometimes because Yoeli's, you know, a 23-12 guy, and so then you're like, well, you know, to be a pro, I got to be 30-17. That's not really the answer. You know, probably where most rookies would fit into an NBA team is they'll come off the bench, they'll play 15 minutes a game to start. They'll have to be a defensive force with relentless energy that can answer the bell when points are needed, come up with big rebounds, be the ultimate teammate of all time, and have a real passion for the game and juice in the locker room. Like, that is the equation to kind of find your way into that league in the beginning, and then give yourself a chance to grow your game into what it could be. And so, you know, he made the statement that he wanted to be the best defensive player in our league, and that's an extraordinarily prescient goal for him because it's going to make a difference in everything that he does.
You're also bringing a grad transfer that can score, but he's a very familiar face to BYU fans, Jake Toolson. Your stories are tied together from their time at Utah Valley. How excited are you to get Jake in the program?
Man, I'm excited. Like, you know, Jake is, first of all, he's a terrific basketball player. He's going to make me look like a little bit smarter coach. It's just the truth, right? And but also, we've got to travel this journey together for a long time. And you know, one of the hardest things about making a coaching change or taking a new job is that you don't get to compete with the guys that you've been working with, right? And that's a hard thing. And the fact that I get to continue this relationship with Jake and continue to watch him grow and do extraordinary things, it's a real blessing.
You also have to do some recruiting with the players that are already there. I mean, you have to convince T.J. Haws and Nick Emery that you can make them better, that you can be their coach. Yeah. How's that process going?
Well, you need to ask the players about that, right? That's the real truth. But I do think that we've had a chance to spend a lot of time together. We've been blessed with being able to spend time on the court working together, in the film room working together. And we're doing all individual skill work, and we're trying to keep it at a pretty even tempo right now. One, because with our foreign tour, it's going to be a long year. And two, because I don't want to really crush these guys until it's too late for them to leave. So don't tell them. They're getting the nice guy right now, and it's about to get real pretty soon.
Well, the roster you have currently, do you think you have a team that could make the NCAA tournament next season? It's been a while.
It's going to matter on our insides.
Right.
It just does. And that's not me trying to put it on the players. It's going to matter on our collective insides, right? I think the pieces are there to make a real run. But this is not an overwhelmingly dominant, talent-laden roster that's just going to walk over everybody we face. This is a team that's going to matter how much fight we have, how much sacrifice for each other we have, how much commitment and belief in playing the game the right way we have. And I have a feel right now in this early stages that this team might have some good insights. They might have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. They might be a little bit sideways because people feel like they haven't met expectations and feel like they're not what they could have been. And I love those ingredients. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to work with them and see what we can do together.
One of the biggest challenges you face as a head coach is Gonzaga. How do you chip away at what they built and where they're at and try to take them down as a champion?
Well, there's 353 now, 353 Division I teams, and 352 of us are all asking the same question. How do you beat the Zags?
Yeah.
And they're so good. And the thing is, with this coach, Mark Few, like, you just want to hate him, except he's the nicest human being in the world. In fact, my wife, I think it might be her favorite coach. Like, he's been so kind to us and so generous to us over the past decade. And what he's accomplished there is extraordinary. So that's a mystery we have to unlock. I mean, that's our job. Like, we got to go win the league. And to win our league, you have to beat the best team in America. And you have to do it relatively consistently. And why would you want to be anywhere else, right? That's what you want as an athlete. You want that challenge.
And to make the NCAA tournament, to beat Gonzaga, you have to take on challenges. Non-conference scheduling is going to be one of those challenges. And you were bold at Utah Valley. Are we going to see a fastest 24 at BYU? What kind of, how big are you going to go with your non-conference scheduling?
Well, it's I would like to make it really fun. The one thing that we may have an outside chance at is getting some teams to come to our gym. Now, it might be really expensive to do in terms of, playing on the road a lot just to get one game at home. But I'd like to do that. I think, listen, those games are scary because of your record, right? They're really scary because of my record, right? Because I'm the one that's going to get crushed. But those games are fun. I know that BYU fans will love games like that. I know our players will love games like that. Sometimes it's a little bit scary about managing. Sometimes you can put your team in too tough a run of tough games, but I think it's the best part of college basketball, and so we're certainly going to take our fair share of big swings.
Kentucky Marriott Center sounds kind of fun. You have some connections
there. Can you imagine? So we're working on some games like that. It's not going great right now. Yeah. I've hired several private detectives to see what kind of dirt we can dig up on coaches around the country, and we'll see if we can use that to our advantage.
Give Coach Cal a call over there. He'll hook you up. Mark, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Best of luck. We'll see you again in the fall, and it's time to go to work, I guess, right?
That's right. Thanks, Jeremiah.
All right.